On this episode of Drewski's Trains and Travels, North America's largest model railroad entity returns to Texas for the first time in over 30 years. We'll see some of the most fantastic layouts, check out the latest technology in model railroading, see the latest models, and even get to run some trains. Come along with us for our first ever National Model Train Show adventure. All that and more right now on Drewski's Trains and Travels.
Well, the day is finally here. We are on our way to the National Model Railroad Association Convention and Train Show in Grapevine, Texas. We're really excited. This is going to be such an awesome experience. This will be the first time in over 30 years that the National Model Railroad Association is bringing its train show and convention to Texas. And for us to be able to be a part of it, to get to experience it firsthand for the first time ever, is such an absolute honor and joy. I'm looking forward to seeing all the manufacturers that are going to be there, from Broadway Limited all the way to Atlas and ScaleTrains. So it's going to be really cool to see everybody that's there, and just all the different, master modelers, and just to see what they're bringing to the table as far as, learning new techniques. I know I've always been a fan of the HO and N-scale world, simply because of just the people that are modelers, scale modelers in it, are just absolutely phenomenal. And most of my modeling techniques that I've learned in the model railroading side of things has been from HO and N-scale, and so I'm so looking forward to this show.
The National Model Railroad Association is one of the largest model train organizations in the world. Founded in 1935, its mission is to promote the hobby of scale model railroading and the ways it promotes the unique importance of trains and railroading to our everyday lives. Our journey to the convention will take us to the city of Grapevine, a suburb of nearby Fort Worth and the site of this year's convention and expo. The town is home to several recreational spots, including Grapevine Lake and Wolf Lodge. For those looking for a step back in time, you can ride the Grapevine Vintage Railroad, a local tourist line in downtown, and even pay a visit to the Lone Star High Railers Model Railroad Club, housed in a turn-of-the-century baggage car. We arrived in Grapevine in the late afternoon and headed straight for the Gaylord Convention Center, where this massive event will take place. This time we were with my model train club, the Austin Tinplate Trackers, the largest 3-rail O-scale club in Texas, who had the honor of representing 3-rail O-scale for the first time ever in the history of the NMRA. Now, I gotta tell you, I've been to a lot of convention centers in my time, but this thing was one of the largest convention centers that I think I've ever been to. It was 4 stories, and each level was almost the length of 3 football fields. Absolutely massive. Once we arrived, we dropped some of our gear off at the layout and then headed out to check in at our Airbnb. We rented a private room in Carrollton, Texas, not far from the convention center, with a nice bedroom and bath combo, which was a great deal for the price. After a little dinner and a chance to relax from our drive up, we headed out to downtown Grapevine to do a little exploring for the evening. Our first stop was at the Lone Star High Railers to check out Southern Pacific's 771. This Mikado-class steam locomotive originally operated on the Texas and New Orleans Railroad, an offshoot of the Southern Pacific Railroad, and is now on display in Grapevine next to the Lone Star High Railers baggage car. We even caught a few TexRail commuter trains on their return trip from Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. However, after a long day of driving, it was time to hit the sack and get ready for day number 1.
All right, well, it's a beautiful Friday morning, everybody. We got up, we got settled into our Airbnb last night. Everything was really great, and we're getting ready to head to the convention center for the first day of the NMRA train show. We're looking forward today to talking to some of the vendors. We got to talk to a few of them yesterday and kind of see what was going on, and also there's a lot of cool stuff that we got to see. I'm not going to give anything away. There's some really cool surprises in the works, but anyway, so it's like I said, beautiful morning this morning. We're heading over there to help our club get set up early, and then we're going to talk to some of the manufacturers and the vendors today, and give you guys a glimpse as to some of the new things coming out, some of the new surprises around the corner, so stay tuned for that. We'll see y'all in a bit.
Opening day of the show found us back at the Tinplate Trackers layout. For for the arrival of all the convention participants. Having arrived 2 hours in advance, we got to work finalizing all the scenes on the layout before the rush. It wasn't long, though, before a large crowd began to gather, eagerly awaiting the grand opening. And with a climactic countdown, the show was officially opened as participants flooded in.
Well, everybody, the show just opened up. We had a whole rush of people come in. All of the people that came in are all registrants from the NMRA convention. We'll be letting the public in at 1 o'clock, but so far there's been a mad dash and all the layouts are up and going. So I'm getting ready to head back to my club's layout to go see what else is going on, make sure everything's set up, stuff like that. And we'll be walking around the show and talking to some of the vendors and the manufacturers and stuff like that. But so far, it's a lot of people, and we're already starting to fill up. So we're looking forward to seeing the general public come in. But this right now is open for all the, not just the manufacturers, but also the NMRA participants that are all registered. So far, so good here at the show this morning. So really, really excited to get this going for today.
Now that the show was officially open, it was time to do a little exploring. And since it was our first time at a national train show, we took full advantage. Our first stop was just across the way from the tin plate trackers layout to check out a brand new technology to the model train market.
Alrighty guys, well here we are. We are with Carlton Brown here with Traintraxx, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the new RFID technology that is in HO and N-Scale specifically, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's something very new that I've heard about.
Okay, well basically what it is, it's a kind of real world thing, is to use these RFID tags. You'll see these on every car that is out there. They actually call them an AEI tag. And so every time that these AEI tag goes through a reader in the real world, it records all the information about that car, where it's at, all the contents that it have inside it, if it's loaded or unloaded, and just, you know, just vital information about the car. And so what we've done is we've taken that real world experience into HO scale, N scale, G scale, and created the same thing for operations for the model railroaders. And so what happens as the locomotive, and I'll actually have the locomotive push them through, but as these cars are getting set or pulled out, what's going to happen is they're going to go over a reader, and that reader is going to read those cars, and you will see those cars show up here. It shows up, one, you got the cars, you have the location, and if these cars had a destination, it would show the destination, and then it also shows the location that they have been set at.
So what made you guys want to get into taking that technology that's from the real world that's used for tagging cars and do it in model railroading form?
Well, because one of the things, you know, I did is I had a car card system, and that is the card system to where you write everything down and you have everything actually done with the car cards, right? It tells you where to take them, destination, and everything like that. And so I called one of my friends up because I'm new to model railroading, and I'm an electrical engineer. And I said, you know what? There must be an easier way to do this. How do they do it in the real world? And so he actually explained to me how they did it in the real world. I said, hey, I can emulate that. And so that's what we did. And so what I did this for, and what I wanted to use it for, is I didn't want to use the car card system. I wanted to replace it with what they really use in the real world.
If people are interested in wanting to learn more about that, or maybe having that on their layout, where can they find you guys at?
So we're at traintraxx.com. Okay, and that's how you spell it, with Traxx, and that's all one word. And we're out of San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
And we have a office location there, and so right downtown in San Antonio.
Okay, cool. Well, Carlton,
All right.
thank you so much for doing this for us. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Really, really appreciate it. Thank
All right,
you so
you're
much,
welcome.
Sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Carlton Brown, guys. Traintraxx.com. Go check them out when you get a sec. They're on the web, and check out the new RFID technology, possibly even changing the future of how you do car cards in model railroading.
From Traintraxx's booth, we made our way around to the many different vendors selling trains and other items throughout the show. If you see any items in our footage that you'd be interested in purchasing, check out the links to each vendor below in the description box and let them know that you saw the item on Drewski's Trains and Travels. We hope you guys enjoy and hope you find something interesting that we captured here at the show.
Man, those are beautiful.
They are. They're gorgeous. Not as well as what Atlas has over there, though.
What I would not, wow, look at that. They even got the cab figures in there, which is awesome. Very nice. Wow, Milwaukee Road bipolar.
Love this. 139 101 Heritage Unit. That hurts. That, you know. You see this one though? This one. That one's badass.
Oh, that's yeah, all the.
Yeah, that's the Central of Georgia Heritage Unit 8101. It's a jacket.
That's in Norfolk and
Norfolk Southern Heritage Unit. Yep. There's a Pan Am. You're asking me about Pan Am Railway. Pan Am Railways. Oh, they got several variations.
Yeah, Moped, KC. Ooh.
So they have they have KCS with the letters, and then they have the Herald.
This one, yeah. North Shore.
What is it? Oh, toilet lid covers?
Oh,
come on. Check that out, man.
Hold this up. That's
Look at that.
Mainstays, doesn't it?
What? Toilet
Special
covers,
made
man.
mainstays.
Who'd have thought?
That Walmart brand.
So if you really wanna Jones up your bathroom, guys, get yourself a railroad toilet cover, okay?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
While we were exploring the vendors at the show, we were quickly distracted by the presence of a beautiful diesel locomotive running on the tinplate tracker's layout. We spoke with Keith Kelly, one of the trackers and the owner of this locomotive, about how he got into model trains and some more facts on this beautiful engine.
The person who got me into model trains was James Wright, JLWII 2000 on YouTube. Go look him up. I started watching him, I was about 10 years old, and I would just come home from school every day and I would ask my mother to turn on the computer, and we would sit there. My mother had her computer near her bed, so she would sit on her bed, I would sit at the computer, and I would just watch all of his video reviews as he did them. And I think that really did spur me into it. I went on to view Eric Siegel and many other famous YouTubers after that. The locomotive I have here today is one of 150 of the NMRA Trains exclusive Appalachian and Western ES44 AC diesel locomotives. Not only is it one of 150, it is in fact number 150 of 150 as it passes right by me right here. That locomotive is one of only two that he actually pulled out and signed on camera. What made me want to get it was the color scheme, the fact that it's obviously a Lionel Legacy engine, very, very top tier locomotive. The size of it, it's a very, very large locomotive for as far as diesels go, I would suppose. And also, like I said, the paint scheme. It's just such a striking paint scheme. You can see it from across a room of 1,000 people. It's just very bright, very vivid. I guess it's just the inclusivity of it, being one of 150 people that actually owns one of these engines. And I think that's what really made me bite the bullet on it.
And speaking of new engines, our next stop provided us more than our fair share of new engines and rolling stock, with one of the longtime industry leaders of model railroading.
All right, guys. Well, here we are with Atlas Model Railroad Company. I'm kind of partial in that regard. We're here with Ross Medine. He is one of the sales account executives for Atlas, and we're getting a chance to talk with him today about some of the cool stuff that Atlas has coming out. So, Ross, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. What do you guys have coming up? What are some things that are happening in the world of Atlas Model Railroad Company right now?
We have a lot of stuff coming out. Pretty pumped about the SD70 ACEs. Big brute. We decided to bring the 2-rail model, fixed pilots. It just looks superb. We have our 40 modern tank car. We have our GP40s and HO scale that are in stock. Plenty of road names. Our Portex that'll be available later on in the year. Super awesome, kind of obscure, but I love it. And we have our Trinity 3230 hoppers that we have just recently in stock. Down below, for HO scale, we have our CNCF 5,000 boxcars, NDM, Ann Arbor, Atlantic Western, Moscow, Camden, St. Augustine. A lot of different road names in Ferromex, of course, since we're in Texas. We have our mobile obelisk containers, which will be available later on in 2023. Going back to we have our 40 well cars, 53 rebuilt well cars. So popular that people decide to touch them, and we love it. So
Yeah,
come by.
absolutely.
Signal systems, lights, and N and HO. N scale. We have plenty of N scale. It's non-stop N scale at the Atlas office until the end of the year. 3230s, Coral cars, cabooses, SD9s in Black Widow and Bloody Nose. Everybody's clamoring for the Black Widow,
Right.
as well as the wide cab Dash 8s.
Yeah, I have to admit, as a fan of, I've been a fan of you guys for a long time, and one of the biggest things that I really love that y'all did this year, and I got a chance to actually get, was the Atlas O Multi-Max Gunderson auto wraps.
yeah.
They were absolutely well done, so I've got to give you guys a huge thank you and well done for those. I ordered one, pre-ordered one, and I got that one, and they were just so cool and so massive. That I had to buy another one before they were all gone.
I'm glad to hear it. Definitely going to try to have some more of those coming after that run. And we look to the future to have some pretty exciting announcements for York in October, and our 100th anniversary is next year. So we're going to have some pretty cool stuff.
I was gonna say, speaking of exciting announcements, because I know you and I were kind of chit-chatting a lot about this a little bit before. Can you kind of give us some sneak peeks as to what might be coming down the pipeline for not just the Atlas HO and N scale line, but also the Atlas O line?
So Atlas O, since it's our 100th anniversary, we'd like to have multiple engines for the scales in our new catalog. I'll say some pretty cool stuff, some stuff that you might not have seen from Atlas before. Diesels and maybe something else, who knows? So in terms of the 100th anniversary, it'll be a big celebration. So look for something cool.
Cool. I was also wondering, with all of the different stuff that you guys have going on, with that, is there any chance that maybe we might see some CPKC, Canadian Pacific Kansas City stuff coming down the pipe? Especially with the merger coming up?
Yeah, it's on the radar for sure. But if you do have any product suggestions, we definitely recommend going to the website and contacting us, because we are very open to suggestions. We'd love to hear what you guys want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so for those of y'all who don't, or actually guys, for those of y'all that are curious, where can people find you if they want to find you guys, if they want to talk to y'all about or make a suggestion on a product or a custom run that they would like to see or anything like that? How can people find you can contact us by phone or email on our website. So we have 8 a.m. Eastern time to 4:15 Eastern. That you can contact any one of us. We'll be free to answer your questions. The info@atlasrr.com. You can also contact us for your product suggestions, and we'll go through it, and we'll see what we can do. Awesome. Well, like I said, I know I'm personally looking forward to seeing more from you guys. And hopefully those of you watching at home are looking forward to seeing more stuff, not only in the Atlas O line, but also in the Atlas HO and N scale line that hasn't been done before, especially when it comes to modern equipment and things like that. So,
and new to Z-Scale too. So
oh yes, absolutely.
If you have any suggestions, again, info@atlasrr.com. Feel free.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Ross, thank you so much, my friend, for talking to us today. This has been really good. Again, guys, Ross Medine from Atlas Model Railroad Company. Check them out online. Give them a call. Give them your suggestions. They love the model railroad hobby, and they love working with modelers. So definitely give these guys a call if you're looking for something specific.
Absolutely.
Man, that interview with Atlas was really great, wasn't it? Can't wait to see more stuff from those guys. Well, day one of the show definitely didn't disappoint, and we couldn't wait to see what was around the bend as we entered day number 2 of the NMRA train show, where even more surprises await.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. It's day number 2 of the NMRA show today. Got to be honest, yesterday was really fun, but boy, I tell you what, there was so much to look at. Could not believe the amount of not only people, but also the different vendors and manufacturers that were there. It was almost overwhelming, but we had a great day yesterday. Kind of had to take the time this morning to kind of recover and just chill out because there was just so much stuff and we had so much going on yesterday. But it was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to day number 2 today. We're going to be talking to more of the manufacturers that we didn't get a chance to talk to yesterday, as well as checking out the layouts that are there, which they have some phenomenal layouts as well. So really looking forward to day number 2, looking forward to taking you guys along with us today. So sit back and relax and get ready for day number 2 of the NMRA Train Show and Convention.
Now, if you thought day 1 of the show was impressive, day 2 was a complete knockout. Early on, we checked out the many different HO and N-scale layouts that were represented at this year's event. Check out this beautiful HO scale layout from San Antonio. What blew me away was just how big the scenes were. I mean, this port scene by itself was enough to make my mouth hit the floor, especially when I found out that the ship in this scene was completely scratch built. There were impressive hillsides, a grain elevator scene, and a highly detailed refinery. I mean, even this crewman was having a ball while on the job. The Michigan Club's layout was just as cool. They had this awesome rock quarry complete with animated vehicles that you can see moving in the background. Now, what really stood out to me was how well this layout combined goofy and realistic together for the perfect look. There were sunbathers, a bridge jumper, and wait, Mermaid? Speaking of getting lost, looks like this kayaker made a wrong turn somewhere. Like I said, this layout was just chock full of little scenes like this that were so creative. Now, if you want to talk major creativity, how does a layout on a turntable sound? I mean, just look at this thing. Isn't that something? If you lack the space for a layout, this is definitely the thing for you. Making our way from the layouts, we stopped by the iconic ScaleTrains RV and had the chance to chat with Shane Wilson, President and CEO, on some of the new cool models that they have coming out soon.
Right behind us is the all-new museum quality SV45X.
Wow,
Here at the show, we announced the new N-scale PS5820. And then on the far side, we brought back the Gunderson 5200 Express boxcar from Exact Rail. So a lot of new product there, and then of course, a lot of new releases just sitting on the table. Some have delivered recently, like the AC 4400s, and then some things that are coming throughout this part later this year, as well as into early next year.
Gotcha.
Now, when you go to a train show of this size, there's always more than just model trains. Rebel Rails came with every kind of railroad merch you could think of, and even Trains magazine showed up, showing off their beautiful exclusive calendars from all of their magazines. Of course, it wouldn't be a national show without Trains with a Z, who had brought new and used models for sale and were even handing out free pens and lanyards with their logo on it. Bachmann Trains had a very cool display of garden scale rolling stock and engines. Those Dash 9 diesels really caught my eye, especially the Santa Fe and Norfolk Southern versions. Which one of these paint schemes is your favorite? Let us know in the comments section which paint job you like the most. Big shout out to John Cody from JC's Trains here on YouTube for coming by our layout to check out our setup. If you haven't checked out his channel, go subscribe. He's got some cool videos on 2-rail O-scale and even some really cool train watching videos from out west. So go check his channel out. Now on day 3, we had a chance to talk with Soundtraxx while we were at the show about the new Blue Nami technology they developed for running trains. However, we felt that there was too much good info to break up the interview, so we've included a link to the full interview in the description box. Lots of good info there, and also some acquaintances of ours, Johnny from the YouTube channel Automus and Sid from Sid's Trains, have both done videos on this new technology that's hit the market. So if you want to see it in action, go check out their videos, which will be linked below as well. Also, we chatted with Ken Silvestri at Broadway Limited on the new and upcoming stuff they have coming out as well. For the sake of time though, we decided to include the interview as a separate video, which we'll include a link to in the description box. So overall, guys, the NMRA show was a huge success. 2 thumbs up. I absolutely enjoyed this show. It was one of the best shows that I've ever been to, and it was great to see so many new faces and meet so many cool people while we were there. And I even got a chance to add a few pieces to my collection that I never expected to add, including this Lionel BNSF 4427 grain hopper and this Atlas Union Pacific Berwick High Cube boxcar, courtesy of my good friend Ricky DeLifka from Texas Eagle Trains on YouTube. And in addition, I got a chance to add this Kansas City Southern Belle t-shirt to my railroad t-shirt collection,
Since I'm a huge Kansas City Southern fan, this was absolutely calling my name, and this is just an absolutely beautiful shirt. So I was so glad I got a chance to pick this up. So overall, guys, this show was just a great, great show to be a part of, and something that I'm so glad that I got to experience. And for those of you guys that have not gotten yet to experience the National Model Railroad Association Convention and Train Show, I would highly suggest, no matter where you live in the United States or even in the world for that matter, when the show comes up, to make the trip to come out. It is absolutely worth it. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also check out some of our other videos that we have on the channel as well, including some of our rail fanning videos where we've had an opportunity to see some of the real trains that you see in model form. Thank you guys so much for your support and for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy some of the footage that I captured of our trains running on our layout at the end of this video. So, as always guys, my name is Drew, and this is Drewski's Trains and Travels, and we'll see y'all down the tracks. Enjoy.
There's a big one, Dominic.